for now, we're focused on sivet versus Meisterlampe. Those players are going to be getting ready any second, and we are going to promise you fireworks is going to happen. Because Meisterlampe was one of the 8 tribal finalists in the Grand Finals live. And, I mean, you said both in the break and also alive that he is, in your estimations, one of the most dominant players right now. Do you maintain that?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Not like even one of the most, the most.
The most dominant. Well, we're going to get a chance to see, in his words, the most dominant Polytopia, active Polytopia player right this second as we kick it off right here.
Yeah, and just to, you know, make sure that sivet isn't too much of a mystery to anyone. sivet was at last year's Worlds as well, just not competing. Did show up to the event, you know, active member of the community. And in order to get here, in the last round, he beat Mixu, who was last year's YADAKK finalist. So very established. Not like Meister's, you know, going up against some slouch or anything.
I mean, Meister is an incredibly fast player, I think, is the best way to describe it. He knows exactly what he wants to do and when he wants to do it.
Yeah, he's just so precise and calculating. It's like, usually that requires people to be slow. So why isn't Meister slow is the question. It's, you know, the secret reason he's found out that, you know, allowed him to be as dominant as he is. So, interesting map already. Pretty quick villages everywhere. There's a very small, not even like lake running through the middle, like let's call it a river there. But it looks like it fills out towards the bottom. Civet's got more land to work with, which in these things can be an advantage, but it can also work to your detriment depending on if the game advances towards something where it's navally dominated, or if it really, like, the only way to push becomes through the water, like what we saw in that first game with Oplex and Ramdingler.
Both capitals seem very sort of well protected, at least from land, with those mountains. Nice little chokehold there, but is it going to be a game where the water decides it, in your estimation?
I mean, it looks like it's difficult to push through the land, just because I don't see any tactics arising immediately through like this one tile land gap that they have going on, like the presence of the mountains, everything like that. Things do open up with more villages up in the north, but like it doesn't look like we're losing any villages, you know, for Meister or civet immediately, which does give it better odds that things go into the water, because Meister is going to want to push things towards the water. I feel like it's really his decision. Civet, for his part, is really looking at just, you know, expanding on land. And wow, okay, that makes things... It was difficult before for Meister to keep him off of that village over in the northeast, but now with this veteran swordsman here, become much more challenging.
Do you want to explain where that came from for those people who might not know what a rune is?
Yeah, so if you look over in the north right now, you'll see one tile that doesn't quite look like all of the others above the fish over at the edge. That's a ruin. It's one of the things like the little villages peppering the map. Little bonuses that reward your exploration. Go ahead and you will find some kind of random reward from it. It could be a technology, it could be some stars, some population on your capital. Or the often beloved, often cursed veteran swordsman, a little powerful unit that might change the balance of things, shake things up a bit in how your units are fighting your opponent's armies. This veteran swordsman should help civet a ton in going ahead and picking up this village in the northeast, or at least keeping Meister off of it for a little longer, depending on who that eventually goes to.
I do want to take a moment just to say that these qualifiers are open to everyone. Don't think if you're sitting at home watching, if you've just started playing Polytopia, in fact, you're not precluded from joining any of these qualifiers. We are going to be going through tribe by tribe, week by week. Next week is the Vengir tribe. So if you like Vengir, maybe go for the qualification. This could be you that we're talking about commentating over, and it could be you that we're shaking hands with and cheering for in the grand final. So why not give it a shot? You can also subscribe to the Polytopia YouTube channel to keep up to date with all of the live streams. Now, what I want to keep up to date with is who do you think is in a better position at this point? Meister or civet?
This is definitely the most complex opening we've seen out of all of them. I mean, the very last game we saw was maybe the second most, but that kind of crystallized quickly with some of the moves. But here, it's difficult to say. Like, both players have strengths and weaknesses to them. It feels like Civet might be in a stronger position, just easier to go ahead and pick up way more villages. But Meister does have a pretty solid, I won't call it great, but I will say decent position to work with. I'm gonna have to give it to Civet though right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the number of villages he has access to, it would have been like a double-edged sword kind of thing. Pardon the pun. But with this veteran swordsman that he has, you know, kind of securing that village in the northeast, it doesn't feel like he's overexpanded himself or overextended. It feels like it's a very safe possession that he has. Meister's job is going to be looking to counter it. He just went into hunting, so there's potential for forestry, mathematics, trade stuff like archers to try to make use of the way the space is laid out. Not really sure which one he wants to go for.
And we've hyped on about being fast, by the way, and he's taking his time to think, so it's made me look like a right idiot. I promise you, I've never seen him make this long of a turn. Ever.
And then difficult spot right now. He knows what's on the line here. Ooh, and so this is something interesting. He was probably debating what to do specifically on that turn, like what units. He was calculating out if he had stars for units. I mean, in the abstract, you always want more units. It's just the opportunity cost you have to work with. And he decided not to get anything more, so.
He's gonna need units to take back those villages in the north. I'd say that much.
Yeah. I wonder what's what units he wants to deal with, because there's the possibility of like some kind of push with archery, which seems, you know, less and less likely just with Civet, just the sheer number of villages he has, and if he counters with defenders, like really difficult to land any of those sieges. So I'm imagining that Meister is saving up for maybe forestry and mathematics. And he was calculating how much he needed to, how many forests he needed to cut down in order to do that before he picks up these next two cities even.
For context, for those of you at home, you can see at the top of the screen the current score, which for the purposes of the individual players is not as relevant, but you can see the current star totals as well as the income that they get each turn. At the bottom you can see the units slain, the current units they have, how much time they have left on their turn, as well as the current cities. Now with these cities, the city count is now 5 to 4. Oh, that's a nice explorer. Doesn't quite make it all the way, but does start to see the other side of the lake there, and another city. So now we have 5 to 5 in, I mean, well, there's that city north is a little bit isolated. I mean, you talk about last game about having cities that are condensed. Is this an ideal sort of format for a city?
Yeah, you love seeing your cities set up like this. I mean, if you have the overlapping borders, people will call that perfect density. I mean, you know, a little more than that, like the way the villages are laid out. But I mean, you can see, like, you know, when your city borders combine into, you know, just the one massive 6x6 square like what Meister has here, you can't be upset. I was interested with Meister's calculations. He's getting out these warriors and such now. It feels like he could have maybe even put up a warrior on his capital last turn. But with the lighthouse population, the road connections, and then the 3 animals, he gets the first giant, and he's going to use that to push maybe into that most vulnerable city up in the north. Quick counting for population. Yeah, so with 2 monuments, that city does have enough population to push its own giant, even though it's only at level 1 right now. The question, you know, where to get those 2 population. He already has his Grand Bazaar. He just needs to get a giant on his capital, so maybe fishing would be all the population he needs there. Then he can go ahead, spare his city. You know, nice defense. Pick up another explorer here. Yeah.
Oh, it does go for another explorer. Let's see.
What will he get that east lighthouse?
Oh, he does.
On the last tile, the very last tile. Yeah, and then border growth is very natural here. You're stealing resources from your own city that's in the west. If you get border growth.
There we go. So, first little exchange there. This looks like he's pushing up early, actually. What do you make of that?
Yeah, so Civet's got a lot of stuff going in his favor. Like, he's up 2 villages. Ooh, he's using his Grand Bazaar on his capital to get the giant quick. Okay, the only reason I find this as interesting as I do is what I just calculated about the giant over in the northeast requiring 2 monuments. But there are other ways to do that if he gets into forestry, or since he already has fishing, just hunting, farming. He's got farming. So he does have the population with just like another tech. He doesn't need to use the monument there. This will get him his stuff going early. But he's keeping the flexibility too as Park of Fortune. He hasn't committed it anywhere. He might not even feel the need to commit it to that city as a giant there for defense. It was a pretty natural target for that monument, getting it to level 3. And, some easy stars, some extra income following turns. But yeah, the reason I think I'm seeing Sivet go for, pushing his units forward like this is basically just because he can.
The just because he can.
Yeah. I mean, the Giants are great units, of course, but they need the proper support. They're, part of your army, they're not the entire thing. So
we'll say that we're in turn 9 now. Both these players playing, it feels to me, faster than the last two. Even with perhaps a little bit more action happening on the borders. They're both still playing very, very fast here, which will be interesting to see how each of these stack up against Ramdingler.
Yeah, I mean, Ramdingler was very fast. I think he had a couple of things in there spread throughout, especially in the most difficult first game that he played. But look at these players. Neither of them are like getting close to timing out. Both like banking like 2-3 minutes on their clocks. I'm saving it for the big things later on. There we go. Fishing. Going to see some quick upgrades. And the Park of Fortune goes towards that central city, which with the 3 farms is the 6 population you need with population growth. We're a giant down there. We're just seeing some upgrades going on right now. I imagine we could see, a single road here, and then probably pick up 2 kills on Meister's warriors here. Yeah, he's going to use the veteran swordsman, put it right next to that northeast city, away from the giant. He's hemming Meister in, and showing how he was able to defeat Mixu.
Well, we were saying just a couple of minutes ago that Meister was looking to push forward into that isolated city, but it is instead Sivet pushing the action.
Oh yeah, Sivet's got he's controlling the game, absolutely. Not a warrior moves without his command. I mean, he's got the... I mean, Meister should be the one, trying to make an attack work for him here. But it's Sivet who's controlling everything. Yeah, he was able to even up the kill count like that. Very solid. And then go after farming to go ahead and pick up some more giants. Especially the giant up in the north. Yeah, is he... Yeah, so the question was, is he able to actually train a warrior? Not on this city, but the one southwest of his other giant? Or does that open up the opportunity for this veteran swordsman to siege? And I'm sure we're going to see Meister just play it safe, not train a warrior there. He's got 2 stars left. He might train a... Ooh, he is training a warrior there.
There we go.
Okay. So it does work for him, but if Sivet had, a rider in the fog, or like a scout that he could upgrade, that would have opened up the veteran swordsman to siege. It wouldn't have been too devastating. You just use your giant to go ahead and pick it up. This is better, though. Meister will want to attack this veteran swordsman, but if he kills it with his giant, he is offering the first attack of the giant damage exchange to Sivet. And that's an exchange that favors the first attacker. Like, you deal 13 damage and take 8 in retaliation. So, If
what sort of
Meister
odds would you give both players at this point?
Like 70-30 civet. Maybe that's. I think I'm maybe you know, giving too much credit to Meister's ability to figure stuff out here. I do rate Meister higher than civet, which, you know, it sounds mean, it sounds cruel or something, but like it's just because it's Meister. Like,
look, we're casters. We're allowed to have. In fact, the whole reason we're here is to have opinions. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, like. I mean, it's just so contrary to my nature, but it's just like factual. Like it needs to be said. I give Meister, you know, better chance to like you know, figure like, you know, crazy shenanigans out. It's just I'm looking at it and I'm like, where are the crazy shenanigans to figure out here? Like you're in a position where you're just down in like all the important ways. But if anyone can, Meister, so
definitely not gonna be looking to quit, I think, in this game.
No, and it is still a position with you know, where it's worth fighting on. Like there's no like resign blow yet. Like I'll say when he loses one of those cities up in the front, should, you know, nothing else have dramatically changed, I'm saying, you know, maybe time to pack it up, Meister. But like right now, play on. We're seeing another giant from Meister. 3-2 over in the, you know, immediate area in conflict. The other problem for Meister is like civet's exploration. Like he's got the north corner, of course, unlocked after that veteran swordsman early on. I should say it was looking rough even without the veteran swordsman. Turned a bad situation worse. But after we pick up, civet picks up these 2 villages in the south, the 1 village in the west. What's Meister to do? Like, what, half the city count?
Right now it's 7-5. Like, again, this is what it's going to come down to. He is pushing forward. He is being aggressive, despite, like you say, being perhaps on the back foot. Sometimes the best way to push your opponent off balance is to get in their face a little bit. We'll see if he's able to do that. Go on, what's Civet going to do here?
A series of really aggressive chops. Like, it was as if he bought forestry just for that one single lumber hut. A very expensive lumber hut and giant. But, you know, he does have hunting. Both players do. Yeah, archers already from Civet. Meister, I think, wants to push with archers, but he doesn't have the technology yet. And he's going to miss out on that archery forest defense bonus here, while his giant is getting punished right now. Some archers in the back. These are the perfect way to defend against this giant push. So, picks up 2 more villages, and after he picks up this 3rd one down in the south, which Meister has no way to counter. Half the city count for Meister.
But to be fair to Meister, even if it doesn't go his way, we have a history of reverse sweeps in this tournament thus far.
Yes, absolutely. And I should say Meister, in getting to this point, was able to take out Viking the Cat. You did not see him at last year's Worlds, but he did qualify with like some ridiculous, like 5-6 tribes, like semifinals. He is a favorite. You know, we'll probably see him again later qualifying with some other tribe. He's many people's favorite to go all the way. So Meister is, he had a reverse sweep against Viking the Cat in order to get to this point too. So able to overcome adversity. Very strong player character. Not too worried about I mean, why would he be worried about Meister?
Well, let's see if he's worried. What does he do here?
Yeah, he's got an open city. And a giant right next to it. But he sees the archers, he sees the giant.
Does he
can
pull back or
sacrifice
push
a few
forward?
warriors into it. Yeah, and like, you know, the long term, too. If this attack on land doesn't work, does Meister have, like, what can he do? Like, does he push anything in the water? Okay. So, this is a conundrum. Meister wants to limit the damage on his own giant as much as possible, which involves doing this, sacrificing his warriors into his opponent's giant. The problem is, if you look at Civet's, like, you know, slain enemies count, it's just hopped up to 8, and with these other warriors in the way, that is an easy killer monument that he is giving his opponent, and we might see as well a giant push there. So even if Sivet isn't able to take it out traditionally, he is able to just go ahead and push like everything's okay for him. But no need. He has the units to just go ahead and clear this giant off of his city. Something else important we should point out is Opix was worried about Houdini the entire time. Meister is aware of that as potential here, and he created that one little square of Luft over to the east, a place that none of Sivet's units could reach, but that if ever he tried to push him, he would keep that one square for his giant to not disappear completely. Unfortunately, Sivet just went ahead. Very low retaliation damage on his own giant, and then just some archers to finish it off. And it looks like Meister's attack is how I'm not seeing it. So Sivet does have his killer monument right now of the couple warrior kills he was able to pick up. The question is, where does he want to use it? Does he save it for that city in a potential giant push, counter Meister's only possible attack, and probably look towards resignation soon? Or does he just use it to get some stars on some other city? Does he feel that he doesn't even need to use it to defend? Here's a better safe than sorry situation, especially when you have such a large advantage. Why would you risk losing any of it? But it might be more precise to go after the monument somewhere else. Yeah, at the same time, another giant on your opponent's front lines when you fully reverse their attack is very nice.
So what are the odds now? Go on. How have they changed from 70-30? What's the betting line saying? 95-5. 95-5. Well, let's see how tenacious Meisterlampe could be.
He's got riders. He's trying to still push on land. But I'm not seeing the riders turn into a city siege. He only has really the one city that can possibly be attacked. And he's going in with the giant. I mean, the problem for Meister here is, let's say he does get the giant attack pulled off. He does steal the city. That's already a big ask. But what happens then? He's playing a game where he's at 9 cities against 6 instead of 5 against 10. It's not as if he's won, an advantage or anything. And Sivet still has the possibility of just, pushing through, playing on the water.
Momentum.
Not establishing himself
that's what you're discounting. There's a chance that the shock of losing the city, Sivet falls, smacks his head on the keyboard, has a medical emergency, and in one sweep, Meister wins. So, you never say never.
Well, that's where the 5% is. That's where the 5%
okay, sorry,
is.
it was already baked into your model. My bad, I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can Sivet do now then to sort of finish it off, or at least to try and pursue an endgame?
Okay, first he gets a star ruin, so just in case, 96-94, 96-4, I guess.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, no. So there we go. He picks up forestry, and he's been holding on to his monument from earlier. I'm pretty sure what we here is does he have? He doesn't have any riders. Sivet does not have any riders, which is unfortunate. If Sivet had any riders, he would have been able to. No, because there's still the square of Luft on the farm there. So no possible Houdini there. But I think what we're going to see is Sivet just goes after a giant push, doesn't even worry about dealing with this giant, just goes after the supports for this turn. And then 3 lumber huts and that killer monument down before pushing the giant here. Next turn, he'll use his archers to take out Meister's giants. And then when Meister's only units left to counter are these riders, that's when Sivet pushes in his own giants. The riders are notoriously terrible dealing with the giants. They can sacrifice themselves very expensively. 30 stars and riders to take out one giant.
Yeah, I was about to say I blinked and suddenly there was way fewer troops.
Yeah. Well, Sivet's, that's his whole plan. He's just going to push this giant, because the giant doesn't have enough support. He's just going to go after all the support and, you know, push with his own giants. Keep Meister out of the game. So there we go, just drop a killer monument down and select giant instead of park. Could have been a misclick there.
You never know.
Is he get another giant? Is he gonna park on his capital for some style points, or is he gonna go after another archer somewhere? And the Meister is going to resign.
There it is. Yeah. Game one. Game one. I would say spirited defense there. The writing was on the wall for a little while, but there we go. 13 turns in. Sivet wins the game. Meisterlampe only has it all left to do. Is the best way to describe it. Again, reverse sweeps are a thing that we've seen consistently. So if he can get one, make it 1-1, then we have an interesting third game ahead of us here. What's your take on it?
I think it was, you know, absolutely kind of devastating game. It felt like it was difficult, and then, you know, Sivet was able to play very well, like use that veteran swordsman ruin very smartly. The way he actually like took the villages, expanded out with it. He realized where his advantage was, how he was, you know, supposed to play the game, and then just made the most of it, like a clean conversion, like clean defense.
Again, it didn't feel like he gave any sort of openings for Meister to exploit. Again, Meister, I'd say that was a good time to resign. Like, before that would have been premature. You know, it was obviously a losing position, but you kind of got to wait for the openings. And at that point, there was sort of nothing left that he could have really done. But a great game from Sivet. 0 mistakes. And it's one of those things where sometimes you have the game in your hands and it's yours to lose. And he definitely didn't lose. Suffice to say. Now, 1-0. Like you say, the most dominant current active player. Would be shocking if he didn't get to the finals. But that is, we're on the cusp of seeing something like that here.
Yeah, I mean, like, he was cut out of Worlds last year, too. Very big upset against Slimming Boy. So
very big upset. No one expected that at all. I remember I was looking at you the entire time, and your mouth was a perfect. You were very shocked at the entire time. There it is. I've seen that expression. The players are obviously going to be setting up for game 2, so we are going to be going straight back into it very, very soon. But if you're sitting at home thinking, obviously, these casters, they don't know what they're talking about. These players. Why did Meister resign? That was such an easy position. I'd have done this, pushed the giant here, pushed here, taken this tech. Well, you can put your money where your mouth is, and you can actually sign up for any one of the tribe qualifiers that aren't obviously happening right now, because it'd be a little bit unfair if you try to apply now to get into this final. But if, for example, next week we have the Vayne Gear, if you're a Vayne Gear player or just casual player that want to try it out, you can do it in a tournament setting for yourself. And who knows, maybe it's you that we're talking about having an upset. I mean, again, the guy who came second in the live championships in Stockholm was someone that we didn't really know anything about. We hadn't really heard of him, and he almost went all the way. So, I mean, again, let's talk momentum. Meister, you're saying he's a cold, calculated player. You know him, I think, I would say a decent amount. Do you think this loss is going to affect him? Do you think he's going to be maybe playing slightly differently, or do you think it's just straight out and a different game?
I've never seen something like this, you know, affect him. Like, these, like, cold, calculated. Maybe like a little tangent here, but after, you know, last Worlds, there was a little after party, a little bar, playing some Catan. Could not tell the difference between the red and orange pieces. We had to spend 20 minutes convincing him that they were different colors. I thought, okay, finally going to be able to beat Meister at Catan. I did not beat Meister at Catan.
No.
No, like no amount of drinks can stop him. He takes the game seriously. Like, I don't think a single, you know, game, like, especially like when your opponent plays well, like, you're not gonna beat yourself up about that. Yeah. Like, you played well, you did what you could. Like, you made your attack, you did the best attack you could. It didn't work, and then you just move on to the next game. I think, like, it's the same reason that he resigned at that point instead of waiting for his capital to get sieged. Just like, he knows. Like, he doesn't let his emotions, like, get in the way of his
judgment. It feels like a computer. It feels like he just runs the numbers constantly in his head. It's like, okay, cool, the number's gone from 2% to 0, and it's time to resign. Cool, next game. Ready up, let's go. Speaking of, we're about to get into it, so we'll see if your predictions are true. Maybe Catan skills aren't withstanding. But here we go. Can Meisterlampe do a reverse sweep? That's what to play for. Ooh, very close to the villages. Very far away from one another as well.
Yeah, they're far away. I'm I'm really interested in how Civet opened. I mean, he is just chasing down the resources. The resources, all the fruits and animals of the map, are spawned in after the villages, just as part of the map generation. And you look to the north, you won't see any fruits or anything. So you see the road not heading towards the middle of the map, but towards this corner for Civet. So very interesting there. Meister has a much more conventional start with just, organization. And then a wonderful explorer, which is going to dodge that. No, it goes back for the South Lighthouse. Okay. Now this is exactly what you want. He can upgrade all 3 of his cities with this opening. He just needs to do a road connection to the North City, which will get the 2nd population on his capital, and the last 2 stars for a fruit, and a workshop too. So, huge start for Meister here. I mean, this is playing out exactly how you'd want it to. We're going to see an Explorer set up down here. Yeah, just hoping that it isn't blocked by any mountains. He's going to meet Meister. We're seeing a very similar start, except just because they've had to go into 2 opposite directions. Civet is warrior. It's all by itself. Doesn't have the 3rd village to upgrade even. The big question is, will he step on this city up north? He could be scared. He knows the Meister has 2 warriors out and about. Yeah, he's going to be a little timid on actually stepping on that village. Meister did not have enough vision. Yeah, Civet saw the Explorer. He saw the potential for losing that city and then the game, right away. So, playing with a little more caution. But, probably could have picked up that village. He's going to go for the ruin instead. We'll see what it gets him. Meister, for his part, 2 level 3 cities, right away on turn 4. This is, the ideal org opening, really. And, okay, another veteran swordsman. So, any trepidations he might have had about stepping on the middle earlier on, probably all over now. Just needs to go ahead and get a couple roads up, drop that swordsman on that central village, and hope for a land connection so that he can probably keep pushing it into Meister, too. We're going to see a couple more roads here. Probably not.
Well, give me the odds then, at this point, this early stage.
It's really tough to say. So, Meister, the better economic. I mean, look at the disparity right now. It's Meister has twice the income of his opponent. The problem is how it transitions into the middle and late game. Meister is going to keep pushing north to try to pick up as many villages as he can, but they're just not there immediately. Yeah, how does Civet want to do this? He sees that he can pick it up with the warrior, but does he want to go ahead with a couple roads, lock it down with the swordsman? Just get his swordsman closer to Meister at all? You can go ahead variety ways here. Yeah. So they are blocked off from each other by the water, but I have to remind us about the existence of bridges. Something we've yet to see, even though these players start with roads. Any of those 1-tile water gaps directly connecting 2 bits of land, you can spend 5 stars and place a bridge there, acting as a little land and road tile.
You think that's what he's going to do here?
He's got the veteran swordsman right there, so it's possible that he wants to, get a rider. If he's, in the fog, Meister doesn't see him. He could definitely get some units, push a bridge through, and then get a surprise veteran swordsman siege on Meister's city, which would turn things around. But he hasn't made any committal moves to do it. It's just an option at this point. And Meister's going into hunting. He might be looking at the math trade. He might just be looking at the fastest path to giant. I mean, with 3 animals on his capital, he's going to get a road connection and that North Lighthouse with an explorer, most likely. Then try to pick up a turn 7 giant here. We're going to see different strategy. So farming for Civet. That's the most population for all of his villages. And now he's evened up the city count. Well, as soon as Meister picks up his village on the next turn, that is. Yeah, Civet's all out of stars right now. Probably going to use a couple of roads and fruit to get his capital upgraded next turn. Meister's warrior just perusing the fog, looking for a ruin down there. And interesting, Yeah, so Meister is not planning to start with an explorer here. Instead, going into forestry. I'm pretty sure we're going to see him pick up a workshop on this North City. And then, yeah, I mean, the giant on his capital after forestry, of course.
There we go.
Got some 5 stars here. Yeah, so
Do you think both players are settling down for a sort of the long term here?
Yeah, I mean, just with the mountains and water blocking each other from, big brawling in the rest of the map, I think they're bunkering down, like playing economic, getting ready to push their units into the water, maybe. I think Meister is looking into mathematics. Part of that is, of course, he's already got forestry. Part of that is, of course, you always have to look out for markets from YADAKK players, the easy access, tech true. But the other thing is just his Park of Fortune placement. Since he chose to, take the 5 stars back on Ezerk instead of getting another giant right away on Enes. I don't know how to pronounce that southern city. But it would have been an easy 6 stars to giant, and then you could push that as an opponent. But there's no way that he's picking up the rest of that population to get another giant there, unless he goes for mathematics. So Sivet's doing a little bit of gambling, hoping he'll get this lighthouse to upgrade. That was all of his stars there. He does get the lighthouse. He's not blocked off by a mountain, but there's the cruel mountain, sending his explorer backwards. So he's got 5 stars left. Maybe he sends another road to go ahead and pick up that village further north. They're on equal cities right now, but I think Meister is the only player with the chance to really get a bazaar, at least until Sivet goes into the water.
Yeah, it does seem like Sivet has the rougher end of this deal here. I'm sorry he's going to react to, obviously.
Yeah, so I feel like we are gearing up to see a late confrontation, but it's one where Meister is... I mean, if it's neither player is going to reach each other, we're asking ourselves the question, who's going to be able to set up their economy better, faster? And that's Meister with, the mathematics stuff going, if that is his plan. I mean, he does have some unfortunate things, like where his sawmills would be placed in, like, the mountain southeast of Ezerk, blocking some, potential trade spots, but he's definitely the one who's faster on getting, like, his plan going. Like, he's, the first player to giant. Sivet's slipping into a little think. So it's a very common piece of advice. Use your opponent's clock. If you're not moving any units, if all you're doing is, just sitting into a think, you can think while your opponent's playing. But we've seen both players now ending their turn by just sitting and thinking for like 40 seconds or something.
I think both players respect the other one. They both don't want to potentially fall into any traps. They don't want to be making those sort of wrong moves. And I think both these players are the kind of players to be constantly checking the score as well to try and tally up what their opponents are doing.
Absolutely. The Meister score counting is scary. Like, other people are good at score counting, but Meister's scary at score counting.
Again, I remember talking to production and being like, there's going to be a problem if these guys just keep flashing up everything on screen. If we're looking at their perspective and they're just mashing the tab. Oh, man. Not a great viewer experience, but damn, it does give them an advantage, say that much.
Yeah, we're going to see border growth here and a potential... yes, border growth. Okay. So, he is looking at... oh, there's a... there's potential, like, sawmill market setups to the southeast that he's opened up, too. He'd have to, like, chop around his cap... Really, it's difficult to see what the strongest markets are for him here. But Meister's got some kind of plan in mind. Like, he's already figured out what he's doing.
That man has a plan for the next game as well.
Yeah. This is kind of the thing where it's most fun to just sit back and relax and realize, hey, he's got it figured out. All I have to do is just watch, see how he sets up his markets, and then maybe copy that in my next games.
Alright, what are the odds then? Go on, we've hit a bit of a midpoint.
Yeah, so it is difficult to evaluate. I mean, in a lot of ways it's a very symmetrical position. Like both players have 5 cities. If we're seeing forestry from the one player, we're seeing farming from the other. One player's, has organization and hunt and forestry, like versus farming and fishing. But I do give Meister a little bit of an edge here, just in his position, not even evaluating like who I expect to win. Just because of the fact that I'm seeing like the late game in the economy able to like pop off more for Meister here. But yet to be seen how they want to play this out. And we're finally finding that ruin along the edge of the map for Meister. And there we go, mathematics and trade on the same turn. This is what he was calculating.
There we go, gets the village north.
Yeah, another village up there. He should be able to get another giant around his capital. Yeah, I think what we're going to see is like a level 3 market, like south of Meister's capital, and then like the level 3 sawmill west, which will get the other markets for the other cities. Something like that. So maybe not the most impressive markets in the world, but just in evaluating like who's winning right now, we're seeing a lot of stars spent on one side, getting into the water for an attack that maybe those stars would have been better spent on, improving your economy. Difficult to say, of course. Like, the question is, will Sivet be able to make something of his attack? This might be his strongest play. Okay, no, he is chopping here. So, going after level 5 market. Now, interesting. Interesting. So yeah, a couple really quick markets there. And then, and no market over in the North City. But this is 8 stars per turn from these markets right now, and then, yeah, 10 stars per turn after he gets the second upground Azurk. And yeah, the border growth is necessary, not for improving the markets, but just for picking up the giants and then grabbing some, maybe port access to that little lake. But yeah, just look at the income right now. 29 stars per turn to 18. And that is something that's going to get worse. We're going to get another extra 2 stars per turn here from Meister. I think he's going to chop another so he can place down that lumber hut. Or
it does feel like that sort of lead is extending, sort of inexorably. Yeah. Again, we're going to have to see Sivet do something here, but as we've sort of seen today, it's been a common theme where one player starts to slowly fall behind. They've I wouldn't say the word chosen, but when the pressure's on them to make a movement, to do something different, to change up their strategy, to make the plays and force mistakes, they have sometimes opted to sit back a little bit and be a bit passive. Again, we saw Ramdingler in that very first game where, to be frank, within the first, I would say 20-25 minutes of the hour-long game, you could kind of see where the wind was blowing. And he defended beautifully, but defending is not enough in this sort of format. You do have to make a play and go for the win. So hopefully we see Sivet do something like that. And maybe the water is his key to victory. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, one, it's gotten him this village here, which puts him ahead on the city count, and of course gets him that important Grand Bazaar as soon as he, connects this last village over here. So he's got his monument, he's got his giant that he can push through the water. He's left his ports in a way that he can still, get a bridge over into Meister's territory should he want to at any point.
Do you think he might start going for that? Again. Do you think he might go for that city north potentially?
Absolutely. I mean, that's where the Juggernaut's headed, and that's Meister's most vulnerable spot on the map. So Meister does have this strong economy going, but this is what we were talking about with like Sivet recognized that, yeah, Meister's got the advantage in getting his economy going. I'm not competing with him on that. I'm going into the water. This is why he picked up fishing and all those sports. He is trying to make something work with what his position's given him. and that's trying to
look at the
that
vision as well. To be honest, he doesn't know that Juggernaut is coming. He doesn't know that to what extent there are units in the water or units around the place, and it is sort of that fog of war that's quite important. Now, there it is. He does start to see. He does start to realize. Maybe now that'll cause a shift in strategy. Maybe now he'll think, maybe I should start to look to defend this, or indeed burn it and run. You know, I mean, a difference of 7 cities to 4 would be quite a large one. But there we go, straight in the water himself.
Yeah, I mean, this is a position where you don't even mind being the player on fewer cities. Like, they've both chosen their paths. Civet's chosen to have more cities, and Meister's chosen to have more income. And as he's approaching, like, you know, double income of his opponent, this is where you're like, yeah, you can take this, you know, city that doesn't have many resources on it. It is another place for you to train units, but I'm just going to keep pumping out giants and, like, buying all the techs in the game. You know, doing things you can't hope to do, yada yada. And just looking at, like, the giant count as Meister's trying to use these juggernauts to get himself established on the water. We have these 3 juggernauts right now, which should keep growing. And are we going to see, like, 3 ports? Or this is, yeah, monument. Using that Eye of God they just got with that nice explorer up there. 4 giants, and he should get all of these into the water next turn. With his tremendous income. He's using those monuments to, like, none of those population are going to go ahead and help out up in the north. Instead, he's just using the zone of control of his warrior to keep the juggernaut there from reaching him, getting directly close to his city. So Civet's going to go for a different path, trying to prevent Meister from getting on the water. If Meister's using his juggernauts to try to establish himself on the water, Civet is blocking him, just dealing as much damage as possible to the one juggernaut with the Rammer Juggernaut combo. And it also makes it difficult to justify, you know, putting in your other juggernauts as well. So Civet's going close. Another port and fish over there will get him a giant up in the North City. There's a port, there's the fish. So keeping himself safe from that veteran swordsman up in the north, and giving himself a little stronger army. You're going to see another giant on the capital, I hope. And then I'm wondering why we haven't seen the level 3 upgrade over in the west. And there it is. Yeah, save the 4 stars, but 4 stars go in, 5 stars come out, and you get a little bit of extra income on that level 3
Man, he's going to need it, looking at the 41 to 28 difference in income.
Yep. It feels like this is, you know, how Meister's strategy works. You know, once you get to, you know, going after trade in a position like this, you put yourself behind on the city count a little bit, potentially even lose that North City. You're not doing the most on the water, but just with the number of giants and juggernauts you have, from being able to get your units all over the place, or all the stars you have, upgrade all your cities. You get yourself established on the water, and then you are on easy street because you have all of the money in the game. So we are at turn 13, where we see the first exchange of units. Meister picks up first blood pretty late. We've seen
yeah, it took a while. I mean, by this point, by the way, in the last game, the game was over.
Yeah.
It was done. So definitely a lot more going on this one.
Road port combo. Get this other giant in.
We have to think Meister is in a fantastic position here. Again, sees the units in the water, gets sailing, chucks all his units in the water. I mean, what can Civet do to answer this?
It felt so. Civet had, you know, there were ideas of stealing that northern city.
There was a conceptual plan.
But those have gone largely out the window. And now with, like, you know, half the juggernauts gone, he's abandoning his juggernaut right there to get some splash damage.
Yeah.
You know, this giant on land will do retaliation damage against, you know, the army of, like, juggernauts and warriors that we've seen. But make no mistake, that is not a living unit. He's not going to be around here much longer. Even if he does pick up a siege, like, it's not a death blow. Might be, you know, like,
it does
just
start
getting
to feel like
closer.
we're on the long. What's it gonna say? Like that's what we're on the long march to a third game on this one.
Yeah, you think it's gonna hold true the trend of reverse sweep?
The trend, the mythos, I think at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sivet's playing very well. Like he does have some things going for him. Like he's already picked up sailing. He has these rafts in the water. You can try to make those work for him. Take out these juggernauts as best he can. He's like doing the warrior spam now so that he can try to get as much damage on these juggernauts as possible. But they're not going to be juggernauts much longer. I think Meister's advancing these onto the land next turn, picking up some kills on these warriors. And then yeah, those cities, like Sivet's cities, are going to go and be in jeopardy. Sivet's trying to protect them with okay, not as much trying anymore, but Meister can overload the giant. Like, what's the problem with attacking the warrior like that is now he's offering the first attack to Sivet's giant, but he's overloaded the giant too. Sivet's trying to push back with the giant on his capital, trying to isolate Meister's most southern giant there. But Meister never abandoned his port. He can just walk straight back into that port he placed earlier, while he advances towards the center. Yeah, just like this.
And advances,
the 10 health Juggernaut goes ahead and picks up the siege. It will not hold, but it's going to mean that that 30 health giant, most likely, isn't able to pick up an attack, that first attack on either of the giants.
Mm-hmm. So the tip of the spear, I think, is that 10 health giant. And, well, we've got catapults in the back as well. Does start to feel like we're marching to a conclusion. Can Sivet rewrite the chapters? I don't know. I just don't know. I think it's going to be very tricky for him to rescue this. Very tricky indeed.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing with... This is really similar to the last game in a lot of ways. Just there was an attack that Sivet is going for. He recognized that was his best opportunity to win. And I think he's getting closer and closer to evaluating, do I have anything? Am I actually about to take any city? But Meister, in addition to, countering the attack, has started his own counter-attack. He's sieging that central city, and he's got a 37 health giant right next to it. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in what Sivet's doing here too. He's going after what feels like the wrong giant, because this 20 health giant just walks back into the port and stays safe, nice and healthy. Whereas it's this 37 health giant that's about to siege your city that should be the priority. But
what machinations does he have going on? I mean, he's put out the scouts to try and put some range damage on. See more rafts go into the water, but I don't know about, like you say, I don't know about this one. I think he's going to lose the city here.
Yeah, it feels like Meister should be able to pick up some splash damage on the rafts in the west. Use the catapults giant to, get really easy damage. Maybe if he picks up a rammer too, Meister can put his 24 health giant on that farm tile west of the city. I feel like, yeah, 2 rammers. No, the giant clears the zone of control. Well, there's nowhere else the 37 health giant is going anyways. It feels like it's a waste of 2 stars to have trained the warrior there. But yeah, Meister just needs to clear the siege, which is now pretty simple. He's got all the warriors for it. I think he'll use his catapults to help out down there, and he's got 43 stars. So
he's a wealthy man. There it is.
Yeah, interesting. The 24 health giant coming in instead.
Well, there's nothing really that can turf that, is there?
He's got the 3 scouts in range, and then the splash damage of this one juggernaut.
Is that enough?
That's the question. Is that enough? I didn't think it was, but I'm seeing Meister play, and I'm like, is it?
There's another siege.
I guess the real question is not, is the 24 health one enough? Because I know for sure that it isn't. The question is the 37 health not enough?
Well, the question is, How many cities need to fall?
Yeah, I mean, you got the veteran swordsman over in the west as well.
Yeah. Again, the game only ends when Gik is taken. You know, Gik. I don't know how you pronounce that, but that's when it ends. So very technically, these cities, whilst obviously you don't want to be losing cities, if Sivet choose to, this game can obviously be extended, and it's whether or not whether he feels like he has something up his sleeve.
And Meister just gonna go ahead for strategy, pick up stronger enable units as well.
Oh my god.
And damage the veteran swordsman up there. The technique is impeccable.
Yeah, it's coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb when it comes to this sort of place in the game. What do you think the odds are now?
98? What?
Okay.
No, I mean, it feels crazy to say. Like, Sivet is up cities. He is able to defend both of these immediately, but
he's
like,
up cities, but look at the stars.
He's got half the income. He's not countering the push in the water.
Is it enough? It is enough. There we go. There's the maths.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm going insane.
But
like,
I don't know. Those scouts are pretty. They seem pretty deft. I don't know. That seems to be a push arrested. That was handled with more grace and finesse than I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought we were seeing the beginning of the end, but apparently.
No, Sivet knows what he's doing. He's not about to collapse immediately, especially not to a 24 health giant. I mean, maybe the 37 health giant, but I'm really surprised Meister didn't go for that siege. I want to ask him about that if I get the chance. Yeah, how does so the question is, what does Meister do to advance here? So the 37 health giant is still at 37 health, and he just advances further. Like he's got a catapult in range of the scout. The giant all of Sivet's giants are away from the central city. You can probably just pick up ramming, and that makes an easy light work of some of these things. Oh, he can get a capital siege if he wants too. It's kind of like a that's cute thing. Like the capital siege isn't really changing the dynamics of it, but I mean, if he's sieging like 3 of Sivet's cities here, taking out his scouts, got a 37 health giant in the center. I think this should be the last turn. I mean, it's kind of like a how is it not? Yeah, and the catapult's going there, so we are going to see a capital siege with this rammer. I mean, if we don't see a capital siege, I'll be very upset. There we go. This capital
there
siege.
There it is. And there we go. The game is done. The score 1-1. Chaps, we're going to the 3rd game. Again, these players are going to get ready in just a moment, but what do you think of that one?
It was a beautifully played game from both sides. I mean, I do have some questions about like some of what happened there, like, you know, Sivet's opening choice, whatever else. When I say questions, I just mean like nothing was inaccurate. Both players were like he's just like seeing like an abstract painter, like in motion, like seeing the process of them, like, you know, creating.
Well, the ones where like they flip upside down and it was like a face all along, that type of thing. Like, what was the theory? Whoa, I get it.
Like, whoa. He got the siege.
I mean, he got it. He knocked it off. To be fair, that's how I felt when he knocked this with the scouts, knocked it off. We were asking if he had the numbers. He had the numbers. Ended up losing, but he still had the numbers. It just goes to show there are levels to this game, and well, I'm not. Let's move on.
Gonna be at next
now,
Worlds,
we are going to go into round 3. This is, of course, a best of 3. One of these players, whoever wins this game, goes obviously through to the final to face off against the indomitable Ramdingler. Now, it's important to note, again, that historically in this qualification, we've never not seen a reverse sweep. So, Meister could be donning the robes of tradition here. Sivet could be bucking them. We just don't know. Like I said, the players getting ready in just a moment. Seeing how they've been playing, is it just a coin toss for you, or do you think that one of these players has an edge?
Oh, man. They've been both playing very well. But, like, I gotta give, like, you know, the class factor to Meister there. Okay. Like, especially on the second game. just like seeing like how he was able to, you know, transition. Like this is gonna be a really nerdy bit. Like most people will not care about this kind of thing.
Brother, we are casting the Polytopia qualifying championships. Like,
just like the way he's able to like transition, like pick up his technologies in the water, like, you know, get his markets up first, and then you know, sailing into ramming, like without it seeming like he's having to give anything up for it at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know, getting his defenders up right before ramming, like everything's perfectly on time always. His giants, like they arrive the turn that they're needed. It's like a, you know, Gandalf and a wizard, whatever. Like chef's kiss. Well, my money's on Meister. Started on Meister.
So how do you think Meister stacks up against Ramdingler? And I'll ask you the same question of obviously sivet, but it does feel like the three of them, from an outsider's perspective, they feel like they generally play somewhat similarly.
Yeah, no. I mean, Ramdingler, I'd say, is a much more aggressive player. The one thing about Meister, like, now Meister has no weaknesses, but if Meister has a weakness, it is his live gameplay, which is crazy to say. He is much more dominant in the time formats where you have 24 hours to finish your turns, spends more time calculating, whereas Ramdingler is much more known for his live gameplay than the correspondence 24 hours and such. So in this, like, we might see like more aggressive, like plays on the clock, like those kinds of things, like different optimizations for live games from Ramdingler. Sivet, like, kind of in the same boat as Meister, and they group them together, but like they're both like just so controlling and calculated.
But sometimes you do need like that sort of flash of something at the end of the day. I mean, let's face it. When it comes to, how do I put this? When it comes to the hour time limit, you know, we did see Ramdingler fighting nobly, but he was mounting something, you know? So we'll see how that sort of plays into the player's psyche, especially when it starts to drag on. Ramdingler's been there. Ramdingler's done it. He has had to stick out a game until the end. So who knows? What I do know is we're into the game, and we're about to find out who will be the second finalist. Right, what do you think? Ooh, close. Very close map. What do you think?
I mean, it's really interesting. Again, like the classic theme in all of the YADAKK games is just how close are your villages, how able are you to upgrade everything with roads. And for both players, their villages are a little further away than they would have liked. Like, neither one is finding their opponent immediately. This is really upsetting if you're Meister, because you realized, wow, that's his capital right there. I'm going to be giving him 5 stars. Oh, trade ruin? Okay.
Right.
I mean, he can't make use of that immediately at all. But it feels like it might be biasing where Sivet wants to go here. He might be looking at, wow, I have a ton of animals. Maybe I'm going to go into mathematics now. I mean, trade is something you always have to look out for, like we've been saying with YADAKK, but it is still a tier 3 technology, very expensive by the time you're actually able to use it later in the game. And if it progresses to a place where trade is useful for both players, Sivet is going to be very glad that he doesn't have to spend the 13, 20, whatever stars it would be. Yeah, no, Sivet's able to expand out to the... So they're both going to be pushing northeast with this little river dividing them. And once again, Sivet is given, like, the reins on this map. Just for the fact that if you look at all the bridge tiles that can be made, like the same as those 2 fish tiles we see inside Sivet's capital borders, Meister can't place bridges there. Like, those are his opponent's borders. Sivet can. So if Sivet wants to get a giant and then put a bridge down there, that's his choice. Like, that's something Meister can't do. He might not want to put the bridge down.
Through that. I don't know. I think it does just that the presence of that river doesn't scream early conflict to me, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the thing. Like, if he doesn't put down the bridges, he keeps his capital nice and safe, like, forever. So they might be going into the water, in which case, look out for, you know, the number of ports that can access the middle. Like, the Sivet does have port access from his capital, but the idea of putting your units in ports there, where Meister can, like, go ahead and just whack them with his own units very easily, it's very dangerous, but Yeah, straight into fishing. They recognize this is going to be another game where the water factors in heavily. Little explorer. Does it get this East Lighthouse? Yes, it does. He's already met Meister, so not too... doesn't really need to chase after meeting stars from his opponent here. He just wants to... Yeah.
So there's that little village hopping on an island.
And a riding ruin. Okay. So riding is not the... I don't think Meister would have bought riding by himself. Sometimes it's a very good option. But here he doesn't really... Like, he wants to get in the water. And he wants to use the technologies like hunting or maybe farming to upgrade his cities. But riding is still useful.
I've got a hunch that the water's going to be useful for this one. Something tells me.
Something. But yeah, that rider will be useful. He doesn't need to spend a road immediately in picking up that village towards the south, getting the lighthouse down there as well. Yeah, Sivet, if he picks up that village in the northeast, which he can step on next turn, then he has a Grand Bazaar right ahead of him now. And we're going to see a nice explorer from Sivet. He's going to be the first one to pick up Meister's lighthouse. And if we've been paying attention, he's got the east one, the west one, the south. All that's left is that northern lighthouse, and he can pick up an Eye of God.
Sorry, the comparison between the two Fog of Wars is a little bit nuts there.
Yeah. What no explorers does to someone.
Yeah, I mean... Meister doesn't... His people don't even know that... They know there's a water there. They know generally what a border is, but... Meanwhile, Sivet have mapped it, and frankly, they figured out the Earth flat.
I wonder if a Polytopian's ever just walked off the edge.
I like to think that's what happens when you resign.
They just all walk off the edge.
Yeah, everyone just walks... That's it, like lemmings. They just walk straight off the edge.
Yeah.
Right, let's see what he can do with that expanded vision. Again, he has full vision. He can see the ruin. He can see, obviously, the tiny little river, and he can see those villages off in the north and east. That middle one's going to be very contentious, but it's one that Meister doesn't even know exists, so maybe he can grab it a little bit early, but defending it is another thing entirely. What do you reckon? Do you think we're going to see a bridge over there? Get a giant bridge straight across?
It's very possible. I mean, with him getting the giant the way he has right now, I think he might drop a Park of Fortune on not the central city. Okay. I guess he's most interested not getting hunting, but using the techs he has, pushing in the water.
Well, the only information that Meister's going to have is through the score. He can't see that there's a giant right on the other side of that tiny little... And he doesn't even... Well, obviously he does know it's a river. I imagine he could sort of guess that, but... He doesn't know anything that's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, So I know I talked a little bit about not imagining Meister getting demoralized, but being at this point in the series, one game to one, this being all the cards right now, and seeing that score, I think Meister does have reason to be demoralized, especially seeing it continue to grow, doubling.
I mean, 6 cities to 3 is a large deficit, but hey, there are those cities off in the sort of the east that he could potentially try and get to. There are options that he could have. They just all don't seem like good ones.
Yeah, I think Sivet, his main goal is just to go ahead and pick up, some upgrades here. Like, he wants to... Double Workshop was an option, but he's going for this instead. So I wonder if he's going to go after an Explorer.
Sorry, what is... Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're right. Oh, there we go. Boom.
Yeah, and now that since he got the Explorer, he has the stars to upgrade his East City if he uses that on that northeast Enclave City, northwest. Depends on where he wants to put his monument.
He's gonna be. He looks like. He looks like he's going to be given a good go to try and buck the tradition of the reverse sweep here, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, double the city count, double the score, double the income.
Yep. In fact, I think sometimes I can hear Meister in the background. Sounds like a cat, but that's actually what Meister sounds like.
A very tortured cat, no less.
specify that?
Paid no attention, you know. Someone like very cruel must take care of him.
Well, another city for Meister. Berghug, which is a great name for a city. Let's see what he can do from here.
Yeah, Meister will be able to go ahead and pick up his own, like a Grand Bazaar and such, just another village off to the east, making the most of his riders. But that's not for another like 2 or 3 turns, whereas, okay, Civet gets a Star Ruin too. I don't know if that was necessary, but I do know that it happened, so. And a workshop here. So kind of interested to see an explorer just to uncover the rest of the fog, but that would probably need him to get sailing first, and I imagine he just gets sailing, steps on the island village, and then takes an explorer there. But what else does he want to do this turn? He could get a port and animal to giant to push in that central village.
He's going for that village. Again, I think he's sort of just making sure his base is solid before making any sort of moves here. 2 giants here. Or give a prediction on turn number.
I think turn number?
17.
Yeah, it is a kind of slower one. The capital is pretty well protected. It really depends on, because Meister has like his day's over as soon as this game ends. He's making us wait, but you know, his tournament is more important.
Well, look, we don't know. We don't know. Again, if there was anyone that could pull off an upset, it is Meister. So I don't want to count him out. No. He doesn't know the extent to which he's facing. Is the only thing I would say. That's the thing he's lacking right now. It's 6 cities to 4. He does have great command over his knowledge of the scoreboard, so he will start to understand, obviously, where he's going with this. Let's see. And there's the giant. In another world, he just runs straight into the fog, grabs the city, and Civet is too shocked to defend.
Might be some kind of something with cloaks.
Yeah.
To go after his capital like that. I mean, really, stranger things have happened is the motto for Polytopia. You don't think someone can win? Stranger things have happened.
It's a terrible motto for a game.
3 giants enter the water.
There you go, sailing.
Yeah, the first scout. I guess no explorer necessary. Just gonna pick up vision of these scouts. Apt name.
Just instantly attacks as well. That's got to be rough from Meister's point of view. 3 juggernauts in the water, and 1 million more on the way.
And all from the fog too. Can't even see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Imagine being Meister looking at this and be like, "What is going on that side of the continent?"
Yeah, he's trying to pick up that east village, but with these 2 scouts in the water, either the rider or the warrior, whatever he puts down, is not going to survive.
He can't even see where the scouts are.
I mean, go ahead, pick up the lighthouse, but your warrior's not making it, I'm sorry to say.
Farming?
So yeah, farming. Okay. This is what Meister was looking at, like a long-term idea. Just getting all of his cities upgraded as much as possible.
Well, look, the city count is looking comparable. I know it's, the quality of city is different. The stars are looking somewhat comparable, so again, let's working. Not... Yeah, let him cook. Let's see what he can do in the kitchen.
And Meister has a job and he's doing it. Now, Civet's surely putting...
Oh, sorry, I don't know why. I just thought that you were going to say that as if, like, that was, like, a detriment to his Polytopia play. Like, he has a job, so let's not forget that. His shift starts in 15 minutes.
No, surely Polytopia is his job. He's a professional.
Well, let's see how much longer he's a professional for in this game. He's going to be checking the score. Again, he still can't see 3 juggernauts running at him. Where do you think these juggernauts are going?
That one city. I guess Meister's own giant is probably going to go into the water next turn. Meister's going to pick up fishing. Drop a port, maybe. It's possible. Like, he doesn't see enough, basically, to know.
Chat, does he know?
No. That's the problem. I think this rider is gonna go after like the scout, like hit it once, bounce away, but he's not picking up the Grand Bazaar city over in the east. We're going to see a solid 8 city against 5, and then Civet should pick up the east village as well. I mean, if you're Civet, you gotta feel good about your position.
You gotta feel more than good.
You gotta feel ecstatic, wonderful.
I'd be honestly at this point, I'd start sending messages to Ramdingler. Like, I'm coming for you. All right, well, I said turn 17. That might be an optimistic one. You didn't even say a turn. He still doesn't know. Well,
I mean, it really,
there we go.
There
now,
go. Now, the 11 stars.
To be fair, the longer he waits, the more stars he gets for discovering him, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
that is 11 stars. So maybe this was just an elaborate strategy. Watch this. We're going to see something big here. 35 stars. It's not an insignificant amount.
Yeah, he's got a lot he can do with this, but he still needs to pick up fishing. Or maybe he just goes into diplomacy. Runs a cloak at the capital and just hopes. I mean, it's difficult when it's easy to be demoralized when you see the score difference and you see that they have your 2 lighthouses and you have no vision on them.
Yeah, he still doesn't know what's in that fog. He doesn't know what's waiting for him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're going to see this city get sieged on the next turn by a giant.
Also, the people want to know if you're going to let the cat out.
No. 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 It's for the cat's safety. No, if the cat goes out, not a safe environment out there. It's city burns, yeah. And there we go. We do get construction, so we're less worried about the potential of a giant siege on that Tajqual city next turn. But it's still going to be expensive on siege.
See what he's going to do here. Pushing everything towards the ports. Everyone's going. Another village about to be taken. Turn into a city.
I feel like I'm in a similar position to where I was last game, explaining like how satisfying it is when
there we go.
You get the nice transition into all the text. Like
2 sieges. Sorry, yeah. I know you're talking about text, but look, 2 sieges.
No, this is the important part.
2 sieges pushes a little bit earlier than I think we were anticipating. We were expecting to build up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think this Meister. Yeah, you can resign.
There it is. There it is. Didn't have full vision, but knew enough to see that 2 sieges would be enough. And that is it for Meister. Someone tipped to go all the way. Someone tipped to win last year. Goes out in the semi-finals of the YADAKK qualifier. Now we might see him try and qualify with another tribe later on. But for now, his journey ends here. And it's Civet that not only defies expectations by defeating Meisterlampe, but also defies tradition of the reverse sweep. There we go. So we know that it's going to be him versus Ramdingler. Civet or Ramdingler will represent the YADAKK tribe potentially on the world stage. We'll take a look at the bracket here. That is going to be our next matchup very, very shortly here indeed. In a moment, we are going to take a little bit of a short break. But for now, you were saying Meister. You were saying Meister all the way. Now, Civet versus Ramdingler. I have to ask you the question. What do you think?
I mean, this is obviously an upset, but I don't think we've seen the last of Meister in this tournament. Now, as for like the actual YADAKK finals right now, we have the defiant Civet versus the obstinate Ramdingler. And I think they're going to be like, bulls, horns crashing the entire way down. Again, we were, characterizing them so it's a little more calm, cool, like calculating. Ramdingler plays on a very strong intuition, very like quick punishing. Like he recognizes mistakes, knows the patterns. Like,
but will he find any mistakes with Civet? That's the question,
Yeah, I mean, Civet just played a series of beautiful games against Meister there. Like he had a very challenging spawn in that second game as well. Did a lot of like very nice plays throughout. I don't like, who do I have to give it to? I mean, I have my favorites, but like it's really
go on.
close.
Who's your favorite?
Like,
go on.
Ramdingler.
Ramdingler. There you go. Whoa!